Look, I know I called Orca a Jaws ripoff, and that's a tad derogatory, but also thanks for all the support in the Orca video, that means a lot to me. I didn't mean to make it a pejorative, but that's in essence what nearly every animal attack movie is post-Jaws, isn't it? Well, yes and no. One of my favorite YouTube channels is Movie Dumpster, and they recently covered the Dunwich horror. They went into the difference between a cash-in and a ripoff. Go watch their videos as it's always great stuff, but anyway, they're right. Orca isn't a ripoff, necessarily, even if it was designed to go after Jaws' popularity in box office. Now, Cruel Jaws out of Italy is 100% a ripoff, but Orca, and today's movie Piranha, are much more cash-ins, where it doesn't have to be the same animal at all, or even the same story, but the advertising and the feel make the audience want to have a go at the movie that will hopefully make it profitable. Today's movie was created by one of the best to ever do it, but the other creators, like the writer, director, and cast, who all happen to be pretty famous and reliable, make Piranha the best Jaws cash-in of all time, and certainly one of the best black sheeps of most of these people's career, let alone just in the category of animal attack films.
What about the goddamn piranhas?
They're eating the guests, sir.
There are a lot of movies that get the label Jaws cash-in or ripoff, and your comments on the Orca video showed me we're all on the same page in terms of what we like. My kids adore tentacles and quite often quote "nobody likes a fat man" from it.
No one likes a fat man.
Alligator is an all-timer that is also written by today's movie scribe while making Robert Forster a B-movie icon. Grizzly is fun, but I prefer Prophecy, and The Car is better than Killdozer. That being said, I may be able to get some or all of them made if you can collectively make the videos worth it for us. It's funny to say that, but that does link into Piranha, as the late great Roger Corman wanted the movie made and even released it around the same time as the official sequel to Jaws. Universal wanted to put a stop to it until Steven Spielberg himself said to leave the fish movie alone. Even someone as famous as Spielberg knows you just let Corman do his thing. And he actually loved the movie when he saw an advanced screening of it. Corman almost handicapped the movie, though, by cutting the budget drastically from $900,000 to $200,000, or perhaps only down to $500,000 or $600,000. It's hard to tell with the info online. He did leave the movie almost completely alone, too, though, which gave the production director, Joe Dante specifically, the room to do what they wanted. Dante used to edit movie trailers together for Roger Corman and New World Pictures, but in 1976 he was given an opportunity to co-direct his first movie with another Corman editor with Hollywood Boulevard. He would get his next chance with Piranha, and even though it was a huge hit at the box office and later a cult gem, it almost made him quit the business. Like the movie Jaws that Corman claimed this to be an homage for, there were tons of problems. Special effects didn't work like they were supposed to, there were issues with unions and actors, and the second unit footage was damaged and became unusable. Universal was going to sue, and he and writer John Sayles were ready to give up their Hollywood dreams. Dante would of course go on to have an epic career, including working with Spielberg, the man who saved this movie, while Sayles is a 2-time Oscar nominee now with a ton of other fun credits to his name. The cast is great too. This is the second of nearly too many to count in terms of collaborations between Joe Dante and the ever-lovable Dick Miller, but we also have Keenan Wynn, who you last saw in Orca, the great Kevin McCarthy, Paul Bartel, and Italian horror royalty Barbara Steele. Heather Urich and Bradford Dillman are the main characters and are fine, but end up being the least memorable parts. Finally, the behind-the-scenes talent goes beyond just an awesome director and screenwriter, with Phil Tippett and Rob Bottin on special effects. This wonderful melting pot of a creative team elevates a mere Jaws cash-in to the Jaws cash-in. Looking at the main plot of the movie, it doesn't immediately feel that way, but let's look at some of the things that lend themselves to that distinction. First is the poster. While it isn't as subtle as the all-timer for Jaws, it still exudes that feeling that this is a giant sea creature that's going to wreak havoc on the general public. While it's silly to think so now, the poster could even be seen as misleading, as it only shows one deadly man-eating fish and isn't called piranhas, plural. That is one nasty-looking predatory fish going after a very pretty and leggy woman, just like the opening of the 1975 blockbuster. That opening is the next thing that signals what we're in for. We get a kill, or two here actually, or we don't even get to see what is doing the damage. Unlike Jaws, we also don't need to squint or have a 4K to see the nudity on display, a Corman staple. We get kids in peril and a greasy mayor-like character played by the ever-reliable Dick Miller, who tries to downplay the whole incident and keep making money. The last really funny Jaws cue is the arcade game that the main character is seen playing when we meet her. It's called Shark Jaws and becomes one of the most meta things ever, with a mega cash-in arcade game being played and displayed in a mega cash-in movie. Brilliant. Even with the more overt as well as subversive nods to Big Brother Brucey,
Wait. Gotcha.
the movie is not a plot-for-plot or shot-for-shot retelling. After the opening scene where two teens get eaten, we're introduced to Maggie, who is dispatched to go find them. She doesn't know her way around the area, so we get Paul hired to guide her, and just like that, we have our two leads. We don't have any Hoopers, Quints, or Brodies to be found, but we don't need them here. The two find the military compound that is housing what killed off the couple in the beginning, and we not only get to see a world-weary Kevin McCarthy looking like he is trying to stop the pod people from invading, but we also get a wonderfully out-of-place Ray Harryhausen creature that looks like it would be more comfortable in one of the two Gate movies than a Jaws pastiche.
Let's get out of here. This place gives me the creeps.
Maggie unwittingly opens the Piranha floodgates, and the rest of the movie now has a clock over its head. Dr. Hoke, as he becomes to be known, explains that these are bioweapons. They were created for use in the Vietnam War from a strain of particularly large and violent piranha, and it was called Operation Razor Teeth, which really could have been its own movie, and I'm a little surprised it wasn't. The deadly spawn, joke made on purpose, are headed down the river and will be unleashed to the greater public, but also the Lost River Resort and summer camp. The movie doesn't really pull any punches with its gore or kills. Dr. Hoke sacrifices himself to save a young boy who lost his father, and we see tons of kids getting attacked with a crazed fish and their dentist-drilled teeth, because, you know, that's how they made the noise. The military steps in, including another member of the Razor Teeth Squad, which sounds like a comic book, and they attempt to poison the fish even though they know that's not going to work. The military get the camp to stop Paul and Maggie from making things worse for them.
Yeah, you best make yourself comfortable, folks. You'll be spending the night.
But the commander is killed along with a ton of other vacationers. The final stand involves the heroes taking a speedboat to open a valve and unload toxic material in the water to kill the frenzied fish.
What's wrong?
It's all flooded. The control booth is underwater.
Paul is able to do it, but it's not a sure thing that he's going to make it either. While it seems like they've won, we also get a Barbara Steele stinger where she tries to convince the public that it's over and that it was way less scary than it was made out to be originally.
Oh, none at all. Most of them will have been destroyed by pollution at the end of the lake.
There's nothing left to fear.
We have a Corman production here that aimed at being a love letter to both Jaws and 50s sci-fi movies, and it mostly succeeds. It has nudity, a much higher body count, a lot more gore, and was successful at the box office. If that isn't a Roger Corman production, then I don't know what is. Now, Piranha was successful, although how much is hard to tell. Parts of the internet claim a lofty number of 14 million, 16 million, or just under 3 million. Any of those numbers would make it a success story, and it has gone on to be a cult movie as well, though about as popular and well-known as a cult movie is allowed to be. It has a direct sequel with Piranha 2: The Spawning from 1982, which is James Cameron's worst nightmare, both physically and metaphorically, but that also gave us The Terminator in a way. After that, it had a TV remake in 1995 starring William Catt, James Karen, and a super young Mila Kunis, before getting the proper theatrical remake, and that remake getting its own sequel with the wonderful title of Piranha Double D, and of course being in 3D. Richard Dreyfuss even appeared in the very successful 2010 remake, which tied a nice little bow on this Jaws cash-in franchise. Piranha is a wonderful bit of 70s animal attack, and holds up today with its beautiful 4K transfer. While the others in the series aren't mandatory, this one sure is. So, what's next? The undersea octopus rage of the tentacles, or the hunt for a giant reptile in alligator? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to watch the black sheep of the ripoff genre in the best possible way.
if this is some kind of a sewage treatment plant or something?
Idiot.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.